Today's guest is Jessica Smith, also known as Paula Jean Ferri. She talks about utilizing her awkward moments as a tool, writing, Tourette syndrome, empowerment of telling her story, and self-publishing. She currently published her 4th book that is on Amazon, and there is no end in sight on her accomplishments and successes. Her journey continues on. Give a warm welcome to ever blessed Jessica Smith. The listeners are dying to hear about your background, and I want to make sure I did some background information on that you have. I just want to make sure I say it correctly because they say it so many different ways. At the MSD, they say Tourette syndrome, they say Tourette disorder, Tourette personality. What do you claim it as?
I've actually never heard of those other terms. I've only ever heard it called Tourette syndrome. So that's kind of fascinating to me, even though I've been involved with this for several years. But Tourette syndrome is a neurological disorder. It basically means that I cannot always control the words or noises that come out of my mouth, and I can't always control my body movements. There are things called tics. I had missed the deadline for internships, and since I was recently diagnosed and having that similar to you of this curiosity and desire to learn, I'm like, okay, so I have this thing called Tourette syndrome. What is it? And my major was international communication. So I'm like, okay, so how does Tourette's affect communication? And I wrote this paper. It took me all semester. It was a long thing that I then presented to my professors. And I was amazed at how supportive they were. They're like, there's really nothing like this in the communications field. You need to get this published. It's like, I'll expand it and make it a book instead of a college paper to publish it. And the closest I would have to a light switch is probably the time that I actually hit publish in August of 2016 on that first book, and it actually went out into the world. I've never been an adrenaline junkie. I've never understood it until I hit publish, and I'm like, oh, this is adrenaline junkies. I get it. This is my life now. Like, I have to do this over and over again. I'm hooked.
Thank you for listening to Noise Palooza Zion podcast. If you yourself is a small business owner, entrepreneur, musician, or artist, or liked what you heard, please share and follow. I am on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, or contact me at www.jasminecastillovoice.com and stay tuned for the next upcoming episode.